conversational pace.
That's right.
So
that was really helpful last time.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, I really liked the scream last time.
The scream?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, I do.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hey neighbors, this is the Planetary Run Club Podcast. I am Ria. I am trying to become the first person to run the length of Asia and Europe on the Silk Road. We're about 60 something days from the start of the run. Today is a special day because I'll be sharing the first episode of the Planetary Run Club Podcast with you. And if you ask what it is, this is a place for us to share all the stories that we collect along the way with runners from all along the Silk Road. I'm trying to talk to at least 200 local runners on a 20,000 kilometer run over the next year and a half. So I want this Planetary Run Club podcast to become the largest collection of runner stories from around the world, at least around Eurasia for now. So I'm currently about 60 something days from departure date, May 1st, 2026, currently training in beautiful countryside France. Today, I want to share with you the first ever episode of the Planetary Run Club podcast, and it's with someone that I met while training and living here. She is an award-winning writer, performer, and producer, and her story is a perfect representation of the why behind this project, which is to show that we can use the power of stories to rewrite our own lives. And Julie did a really good job explaining how she went about doing that. So check this out. So we're in France, near Paris, in a castle,
Right.
called Fitopia.
It's like a 16th century castle.
Interesting feeling to be here now as a hippie commune.
Exactly. It's like so horizontal power.
Yeah.
Like no hierarchy.
So we just met like, what, 5 days ago?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. You're coming over from New York?
New York, yeah. I don't really run. Like, I was probably running, last time I ran was probably 6 months ago.
Crazy.
So,
You're doing great for
thanks.
not running for 6 months.
The hard thing about running through Brooklyn is that you have to stop probably every couple blocks. People sort of drive wild in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So you have to stop because there's some sort of like actual stoppage.
Have you always grew up in Brooklyn?
No. My family's from Puerto Rico.
Ah, right. Okay.
My mom and my dad. They had my older brother in Puerto Rico. And then they moved to the mainland US a year before I was born. So I always grew up outside Washington, D.C., but always felt like there was a piece of me in this little island in the Caribbean. And we'd go back every year. But it's like a very romantic part of myself, I think, that always hopes to reconnect.
Yeah. I feel like right now, in this day and age, it's so rare to meet someone who has like a single origin.
Actually, yeah. All of my family, most of them are now in the mainland US because Puerto Rico has sort of a colonial relationship with the US. They're part of the US, but they don't really have representation.
Yeah.
And also, there's just a lot of like infrastructure that's falling apart. There's a big movement for either independence or statehood. Some people want to be part of the United States.
Yeah.
For just like autonomy, more autonomy.
How do you think that factors your own personal identity, if at all?
That's a good question. To be from a place that has its own political fight and to be a bit removed from it can be hard because there's like this term in Puerto Rico called la brega, which basically means struggle. There's like a very particular struggle that comes with living on the island, and I don't know that struggle.
Yeah.
Because I've lived on the mainland my whole life. So there's a bit of detachment that I feel being so far away.
For sure. You speak Spanish though?
Yeah.
Un poquito. I stayed in Mexico for about 6 months when I left the US and started my nomadic journey.
What was that like?
It was my first moment where I broke free from the American dream narrative. In the sense of trying to stay in the US, get a passport, get a high-paying startup job. I just said, fuck it, let's try something else.
Wow. You recognized when the American dream myth was no longer fitting for you.
Yeah.
My God.
Do you
Why
feel
do
like
get stuck in that?
it was ever it for you or your family?
I think because I haven't known anything different and because I have certain privileges, it's just part of me. Like, I think I'm always gonna make my career my focus.
Yeah.
But I've made my career something that I love and I've worked really hard to get there.
What has it been for you?
Well, the typical track in the US is you graduate, you go out and find an entry-level job, and you work your way up in that industry. I graduated with a biology degree.
Okay. Not what I was
really
expecting.
Random. I always
You're
wanted
gonna
to,
do medicine or?
yeah, I always wanted to because I grew up with like learning disabilities, so I always wanted to understand the brain. But unfortunately, my brain was like not quite fit for understanding the brain, and so school was really hard. And this very synchronous thing happened my senior year of college. I'm like interviewing for all these jobs that I sort of don't want.
Yeah.
And one day, there's something called speed networking that my university is hosting. It's an event where you go and sit down in front of an alumni.
Yeah.
You get 3 minutes, they tell them about you, about themselves, and then you just move in a circle. So the first person I sat down in front of was this man whose name is Matt Roberts. First thing he said is, I'm the head writer at The Late Show with David Letterman. I mean, David Letterman is like, he was the longest running talk show host, 33 years on the air, he's a comedian, late night show. And from there, it was just the light bulb where I was like, I could do something like this. Like, I didn't know people can just get into these careers. So I babbled on about not knowing what I wanted to do, and then I found him after. And I said, this is really interesting to me. How could I be part of this? He said, do an internship. So I applied. I went for like an 8-hour interview in New York City, and I got the writer's assistant job.
Wow. From biology major to writer assistant.
Yeah, to comedy writer assistant. And then from there on, that's just been my career. And something funny happened where I was around all these comedy writers.
Yeah.
So I got it in my head that the only way that you can succeed in life is to be a comedy writer. Like, I was just like, this is the path to success, which is sort of crazy because being in comedy means that you don't make money for a very, very, very long time. Like, you are broke for a while because you're trying to do the thing you love.
Right.
So I went to my first stand-up open mic when I was like 22, and my best friend came up on stage with me, which was a very, very solid best friend move.
Yeah.
And I was very coddled in that sense, and I had a great time. The next week I went to another open mic, and I was faced with the reality that this industry is so male. Oh my god. And they're all laughing at each other. It's like rape jokes.
What?
And it's just, they're all, nobody laughed at me, which granted, I probably wasn't
have
that
rape
funny.
jokes.
But they, yeah, exactly, because I was
Wow.
talking about my feelings and I don't know, girl things, I guess. Just the vibe in the room was so horrible, so I stopped doing stand-up completely. And I probably came back to it about 5 years later. And it was really after a breakup that I started to really hit the pavement, doing it more.
How did breakup lead to comedy?
Well, I just, he was such an emotionally unavailable man to the point that he would like sort of label himself that way.
Yeah.
And it was, the breakups felt so unfair. So I just had so much energy to talk about it.
Yeah. I guess this is a good way to process it.
Oh, that's exactly it. Yeah. A great way to process it, especially in rooms where there's other women. I was finding that a lot of the things that I was saying were quite universal.
Yeah.
They just resonated with people. I had this joke about if women were superheroes, our superpower would be empathy, which is a tricky superpower because once you have it, you give it away. And I just sort of like talked that through on stage and how much I felt like I had given to this relationship without getting much in return.
That's such a common theme, I feel like. Yeah. And we don't really have a coherent like narrative around it, so then we can't all just be like, yeah, this is what's happening.
Right,
exactly.
So
So you did comedy after the breakup, and that kind of just took off for you, or?
like in the way that comedy does, which is that you get booked on a lot of shows.
Yeah.
You have days where you totally flop.
Yeah.
You have days where you do really well, and you're meeting a lot of people, so you're learning a lot. And it was like that for about a year. But I started dating someone in 2019, and just a few months into our relationship, he died.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was murdered in our neighborhood, which is really like, it's still like, I talk about it quite a bit because of other reasons I'll tell you later, but it's still like a really shocking, really hard thing to even say.
Wow.
I mean, at this point I've lived in this neighborhood for 12 years. It was just sort of a normal night where he stayed out a little too late. I mean, none of this was his fault, but he was out really late. And it just happened. And I was in the swing of doing a lot of stand-up at this point.
Yeah.
And him and I were gonna like start a band together, and We had like a couple band practices, and it was just, wow, it was really, so, yeah, it was a complete turn in a moment that felt like an upswing in my life.
Yeah, wow.
So this was November 2019, and 3 months later, the pandemic hits.
Wow.
And in a way it felt comforting because I was like, oh my God, the rest of the world is stopping too. Grief can be really hard because it feels like your world all of a sudden grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
And everyone else is just going along their lives, and like the rest of the world spins.
Yeah.
And that can feel really alienating, but like when the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, I can just stand in place. I can just stand still. Process this.
That's so interesting because for people it's like grinding to a halt and like not knowing what to do, but for you it was an opportunity.
Yeah, it was
to recalibrate,
really slow down.
Yeah.
Process, and there was a lot to process. Oh my gosh, like we were at that point in the relationship where we were texting all day every day.
Yeah.
We were really excited. We had just become exclusive like 2 weeks before.
Oh man.
And I met his parents over his deathbed, literally. It was incredibly disorienting, and it's like, it's really hard to lose someone at that stage of a relationship because you're not really grieving a past.
Yeah.
You're grieving a future. You know, like you're grieving all the things.
So much potential.
All the potential, so much potential. Yeah. So, something about him, his name is José. Something about José, very significant. That José was a virtual reality video game designer.
Oh wow. Okay.
And when he passed away, he was actually working on a video game about grief.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you could believe it. He was grieving his home country of Venezuela, which he had to flee,
Right.
due to like political persecution. He was working on this game about grief and about forced separation. And I thought to myself, okay, you know, if he was working on something about grief, unfinished, maybe I can finish it. And so I started asking people about his game, trying to get more information about it, and it turns out he didn't really tell people about his game. He told like his co-founder of his company, his VR design company, and then he told me on our first date. Wow. So I got really into the process of finishing his game. I'm not a VR designer, I'm like a writer. So I finished it in my own way, which basically culminated in this performance that I called delejos, which means from afar. Okay. Which is also the name of his game. And it was an homage to him and our time together. And also like helped me sort of write the ending to our story.
Yeah.
Because it felt like a really big turning point for me, because I felt like the grief of this would destroy me forever. It felt so unfinished. It felt so unfair. And I sort of imagined that I would just like drown under the weight of it. But then I took inspiration from him and I decided to create a new ending in like an alternative universe. It really helped me grieve, process this.
Is the ending part of the game itself, or are you more talking metaphorically as the game, finishing the game as the ending?
I didn't finish it with code. I really just wrote, and I wrote it as a performance for myself.
Gotcha.
And it was about distance, and so I talked about my Puerto Rican identity, how hard it is to feel disconnected in some ways from it. And I also talked about the way that we met, the time we had together, and I basically retold the story of what it felt like for me to lose him. But I couched it in this virtual reality experience. So this is what I did, is like, I would perform it over Zoom once a week during the pandemic.
Okay.
And because it was about forced separation, everybody in the audience could sort of relate. But I'll say that it brought me to an understanding of why I even met him in the first place. And it was funny. The story was actually funny. There's a lot of humor in grief. A lot of like really ridiculous moments. Wow, this is so beautiful.
So green and while we're here slipping and sliding.
I know. Oh my god. Okay. So that was really the moment that I discovered that I could tell a story that could craft my reality, reshape my reality. So that something that I thought would destroy me could actually be something that is quite beautiful and rich in meaning.
Was that something that like you feel like you were able to do and then you just unlocked?
I just unlocked it.
Power?
It was like, I can't really describe the sheer force, the willpower that got me through making it. I felt like I was like connecting with source power, whatever that is. I had like one hand out and it was like, this is what you need to do. So we performed it for a year. An editor for the New York Times came to one of the shows. She's also a friend of mine. She said, I would love to help you craft this into an op-ed. So we did. And the New York Times decided never to publish it.
Bummer.
But we took it back.
Yeah.
I fought them legally, fully. I got it back. And it was an audio piece. And I submitted the audio piece to the Tribeca Film Festival. They had like a new audio award.
Yeah.
And I won.
What?
I won.
Dude,
Crazy?
I'm talking to a Tribeca winner. That's insane. He's been hiding it.
And I felt like the piece had the same name that he gave it. So it felt like, okay, finally, like his vision,
Yeah.
which is very much a part of the story.
Right.
There's no secret that this was his thing that he started. His vision gets to see the light of day.
Yeah.
And gets to get awarded for it.
Yeah.
And that felt like closure for me.
What a
That was
closure.
like, I was like, okay, this is not going to destroy me. This actually is something beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's something meaningful. And I did it. Like, I changed the course of this thing for myself.
Wow.
And ever since then, I've just been obsessed with personal stories and like the art of crafting a really good personal story.
Yeah.
And that's basically all I do professionally now. I've experienced some additional grief, some additional loss since then. And you can't ever handle grief the same. Like the loss that I experienced since then was so different.
Yeah.
It was so different to process. Basically, because of that, I started this new project that I call Afters, which is about endings and all of the things that happen after. So it's a live storytelling show. It's funny, it's comedy storytelling. And each storyteller goes on stage. I will briefly interview them about something that ended. So when they come on stage, I say, what ended? They'll say, we broke up, my house got on fire, or maybe like my cat died. Some sort of ending. And we talk about it for a couple minutes. I give them the microphone and they tell the story of something unexpected that happened after. The story is usually one of a couple different themes. It'll be like, I realized it wasn't over, or maybe it came back again. Or maybe it's, I thought I lost everything and something new grew out of it.
Yeah.
This show is a way for me to keep grief comfortably at my side without getting lost in it, but also it's just a way to explore our human discomfort with endings by just talking about them a lot.
So since you started doing that, what do you think have changed about your relationship to grief and how you think about it, how you process it?
Oh, it's a good question. Well, actually, I think it's given me permission to just sit with grief, like let it actually ravage its way through my body. When I feel that coming,
Yeah.
I'll just like lay very, very still. And I don't try to fight it, because I think that when people struggle with grief, it's a really uncomfortable feeling. And instead of just feeling it, we create a lot of different ways to fight it.
Yeah.
Like we'll get into an anxious spiral, or we'll assign ourselves guilt. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that to prevent it. Or I don't deserve to feel this way. I wasn't actually deserving of this in the first place, or whatever it is. Our brains are so story oriented that they create a narrative that makes it just really hard to feel the sadness.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to just let it roar, which is sort of the opposite of what I'm doing with this show. The show is like highlighting the new beginning that comes from an end, but before that, I think you really have to just feel the end.
Right. It's like you can't get to a new beginning if you don't really let the end come through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love the way that you described it, like ravaging your body. That's like, wow, that's so visceral.
Yeah, and it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
I think when you let it really like burn you down, then you'll bounce back.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like, we're
The thorns.
We're running right now, sometimes that's what I think about in running, is like also preparation for that, because you're really like burning your body out, like going through this huge amount of pain.
Right.
come out the other side when you finish, you feel stronger for it.
Right. I mean, it's like the scream that we did at the beginning.
Yeah.
That feeling of like just deplete yourself. You can let yourself be like a new vessel after.
Yeah. Wow. So what are you excited about now in this point in your life? Like the new beginning.
Oh my gosh. I'll say this. I'm coming into like a very new period of solitude. I was in a partnership for 2 years.
Yeah.
We lived together and then I ended it a month ago. So I'm fresh to the feeling again of being like a me rather than a we. It's like sort of sometimes scary.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to just like feel the joy of being alone and like everything that sort of opens up to you when it's just like you saying yes.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about this. Like I just got funding to create a podcast about like solo travel.
Right.
Solo travel specifically for the stories of women who travel alone. And I could never sort of dream that I could do that as a job.
It sounds like such a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh yeah, it's too fun to get paid for.
Oh my god, exactly. That's exactly it.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Yeah. There's like something I've lost in the last couple of years, I think. Just like my levity. I think just swimming in the depths of these like heavy story things. I've lost a bit of my bounciness. So I decided to let that like fall out a little in myself again.
Yeah, I can hear you're bouncing right now.
I'm bouncing!
I mean, you being a comedian, I think that's almost like a natural instinct, though.
Yeah.
To be playful and
Yeah.
find the lightness and
Final lightness. Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite practice that you think could get to that state of lightness?
Oh, it's such a good question. I'm actually really trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who like swear by dancing first thing in the morning when you wake up.
First thing in the morning?
Yeah.
On the bed?
No, like you can get on your 2 feet first. But then just like putting on an upbeat song.
Cool.
And just like sort of silly dancing, like not
Victor.
totally. Oh god. Yeah, sort of like, you know, you can like dance to be sexy when people are watching, or you can dance to be cool when people are watching.
Sure.
It's like, no, dance like a fucking freak.
Yeah. Just be who you are. Yeah.
Do you have any things that you feel like connect you to your levity?
I'm trying to think about it more systematically because I feel like I was doing it a little bit kind of spontaneously with no intention or like plan. It's just like I need this right now.
Yeah.
Then I go do it. I feel like running certainly helps, but also like I like to be silly sometimes. One time I saw a piece of a dinosaur costume and then so I was like, I really don't feel like running today. So I put it on and went out for a run with a dinosaur costume. And like I was delighted with like I was enjoying it, but people were also enjoying it around me. And I was like, wow, this is great. So I just realized like leaning into those instincts where it's, what the fuck, I'll just do it anyways.
Yeah.
And then actually do that. And then usually the result is better than you expect. So even when I'm running out on the street, I see people and then they look at me, they'll almost have this look of apprehension in their eyes and they turn away and like try to avoid eye contact. And
That's funny. Anywhere, everywhere across the world?
no, not always, but it's just especially in big cities. Can we go this way? Yeah, especially in big cities, I think I see a lot of people who are like avoiding eye contact. Whenever I feel that, I'm like, wow, there's a separation between them and I, and then it's like a arbitrary glass wall that's separating us.
Yeah.
This feeling of discomfort. So like
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
so true.
doing that, like actually creating a new game, new rule where we can like make each other laugh and
Yeah.
you know, and laugh, smile at each other and say hi, and I think being a dinosaur checks that box. So,
I
yeah.
like it. You're rewriting the norms, the social norms.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what comedians do, and
That's
which
true.
I would love to learn more about how to do that.
Yeah. You know what so much of comedy is? It's just like, it's sort of like not stepping on yourself. If that makes sense. You know, like,
It's like keep tripping but not stepping. Or...
Yeah. Like, I want to sort of say it's like this movement in running, which I know is not like a good way to run.
Like Naruto run, like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And okay, obviously it's like not a technical way to run, but the reality is like you're looking down, you're going head first, and you're not stepping on yourself. Because I don't know if you've ever felt social anxiety.
Yeah.
But I do, and what I notice when I'm feeling socially anxious is that I will second guess my thoughts, find myself speaking,
Yeah.
and then I'll like step on myself, doubt my next thought, which is what makes it really hard to like be present and observant.
Is it like questioning, like, should I say this? Or...
Yeah, and it's so micro, it's like a half second.
Yeah, and then the half second enough of delay is enough to make you trip on yourself.
Exactly.
And what's the way around that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think I knew it at one point.
Yeah.
Which is really just like being sort of just like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it anyways. And also being like honest.
Yeah.
I think so much of stand-up is just honesty. So if you're like comfortable with who you are in the moment, honesty comes a lot easier.
Well, I mean, something that I've noticed through the dinosaur running thing is it allowed me with a mask on be more myself almost. And more expressive of my authentic feelings, like with that, not tripping on myself, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if you like noticed that and when you're doing comedy, or it's like a different state of mind.
There's so many factors in comedy, because sometimes it's like, you know, if the crowd feels like they're really into it, or they're really encouraging, and they're like, they understand you or something.
Yeah.
They're rooting for you. It can be really easy to get into that. It's really like a flow state.
Yeah.
It sort of is a shame that it's dependent on like how the crowd receives you. You need to be validated type of thing.
Okay. Right. And especially with some of the culture, it seems a little bit toxic.
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah.
Especially when like, I think actually just a lot of this gets better as you build more skill.
Yeah.
You can sort of find your own peace and presence on stage, and you can also like internally shut down the misogyny
critics.
Yeah. Up the big final hill. This is the last hill, right?
This is the last stretch, home stretch. How does the female travel, solo travel, connect to who you are as a person?
Well, okay, where I'm at in the US, a lot of my friends, and also like a larger trend, is that women are having kids later, opening up this like fertile time of your mid-30s, literally fertile, like not like literally fertile, but like this like I'm 33. I'm like loving being 33 because I feel so assured of myself, like a new assurance and new comfort in myself. I think I'm sort of using travel as like a proxy for understanding how women make decisions when they're just making decisions for themselves. When they're not responsible for so many other people. What are they choosing to do? How are they choosing to challenge themselves? What are they saying yes to? And what are they seeing? And not have travel, female travel, be such an eat, pray, love trope.
Oh my God.
I know. Like, the world is not your playground for your own self-development. It's not your like backdrop. Which, no shade to Elizabeth Gilbert, but what I think it did is created like a really weird westernized travel universe.
I mean, it shaped the cultural trend, I think, of travel with the yoga Bali situation.
Totally.
I do notice that we seem to be going the other way now. I have a more desire for like community and authenticity. I mean, talking about community, we're here, you know, in a French castle, living with different people. I mean, I'm excited to be on that podcast.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Oh my God.
Oh, we made it.
Should we do our last scream?
3, 2, 1.
Ah!